Hi guys, and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, April 24th, and I'm coming on a little bit later than usual. I was doing some stuff this morning, getting our meals prepared for today, and finishing up with my 12 by 12s that are retiring, getting them in an organized fashion. You'll see that in a little bit. But do you hate it when you see a card online and then you want to go back and try to find it and you can't? So I had been on, I didn't know if it was the Demonstrator Planning in Place website, which is a website on Facebook for demonstrators only, if it was a Stampin' Up! Only website that is for anybody but is only Stampin' Up! Products. Anyway, I had seen this fold and I wanted to mimic it, but I had looked at it, I had saved a picture of the card, but I didn't have measurements. So then yesterday I was searching for it and found it. And it was from a demonstrator, Gayleen Bourque, Bourque. So definitely sounds French. The set she used was in French. So I'm thinking she's one of our international demonstrators, or maybe we're considered the international demonstrators. I don't know. Anyway, so I've done up a couple. I didn't do exactly how Gayleen did, but I did kind of mimic the measurements, some of them, to a smaller card. And then she had just had it like this, where this was the full card and it slipped out. I've attached it to a piece of cardstock so that it can be mailed that way. But when you open it up, you see how those fun little folds come out? It's a fabulous design. This is the first one I did. Again, love how it folds up and it looks like that angle, but then when you open it up, like I said, she had just had it. She didn't have it mounted on cardstock, but I did, just to be able to put it into an envelope. So I'm going to show you what we did here. Now, usually I try to get 2 cards out of a piece of cardstock, but this will use a piece all by itself. So I'm going to start with Magenta Madness. And when Gayleen did it, she did it 5.5 by 10.5. And that is if you wanted it to be a standalone card. Since I wanted to mount it on another piece of cardstock, I am doing 5. So this is the long way, so that's going to be 10.5. Let me bring that out so you can see that. Oops. So there's 10.5. You know what? I'm going to cut the 5 1/4 first because I want to have a long strip for that band. So let's do the 5 1/4 first. So I have that nice long one left. And then 10.5. All right, put those on the side, we'll use them later. Then we're going to score at every 3.5 inches, because you know what? 10.5 divided by 3 is 3.5. There you go. There's your math lesson for the day. So there's 3.5, and then 7, and then as you can see, if we went the opposite way, there's your 3.5 again. Okay. Now here's where the fun part comes in. Now you need a ruler only for this. So what you're going to do is on the very far side, you're going to make a little tick mark. Now I don't mind if the tick marks are there. Some people like using pencils. I don't mind that the tick mark's there. So we're going to do a tick mark at 1.5, just a little tiny one. See, you barely see it. I better make it a little bit darker though, because it's a gloomy day here in Chicago, and I hope my fan is not bothering you. We got up to 83 degrees yesterday in Chicago, and of course my daughter wanted me to turn on the air conditioning, but now we're going to be in the 50s for the next week. So, and our house, I think right now is saying it is 76 degrees inside, but like I said, it's only going to be 50 days, so it'll cool down. So I have a fan on in this room, in my room, just to help cool me down. All right, so there's my 2 marks. All right, so now we're going to take our score. And what we're going to do is we're going to line up that, and I know you probably can't see it, but I have that mark right in the channel here. I want to keep it in the channel as much as possible, and I want that point to be, so there we go. So I don't know if you can see it, but the point is in the channel and my tick mark's in the channel. So we're going to go all the way to there. And then we're going to go to the next score line, have that, and again, get it so I can see my little tick mark, and then get that score line right in the channel. So there's my tick mark, and there's my score line. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bit of a triangle there. Now you're going to go over here, and you're going to do the same. You're going to bring that tick mark in and the edge. All right, and then you're going to go down to this corner. So again, tick mark in the channel and that point of the card. And I know it's way down here, you can't see it, but the point of the card is in that channel again. Here, let me move it up to see. So see, there's the point and there's the tick mark. All right, so now we come back and we score that. All right, I'm gonna put this over the side for now. I'm not sure if I will need it again. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's the score there and there's the score there. So this one, you're going to bend down. No, I'm sorry, this one you're going to bend up. Well, it really doesn't matter. And we're going to burnish on all the score lines anyway. All right, so this is going to go down and this is going to go up. Down and up. And then we're going to kind of score there. So let's keep some of those folds. All right, so that was down. This is up. Oops, sorry. Oh my goodness, down, up. There we go. Oh my gosh, so hard. So let's go ahead and score those. So there we have, and if you need to jimmy it up just a little bit so it's straight, there we go. So down and up. See how cool that is? All right, now for me, and let me show you, I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to show you, let me move my chair out of the way. This is what I've been working on this morning. So here's my new scrap pile. And then here's all of the retired card DSPs that I've now cut into my 4x12s. Now some of them I keep full strength. Like the expressions in ink that I used yesterday, I'm going to keep full size. I'm going to keep it 12x12. But these I all cut up into our 6x6, except for the Tidings of Christmas, which are already 6x6. I'm sorry, I cut it to 4x12. So here's my 4x12 strips of all of these different designer papers. And then these are the scraps I had left. Now I like having, I don't know if you can see, I have my 12-inch long strips, then I have my smaller ones, and then everything kind of in between, and the largers in the back. So this is what I'm going to be using today to embellish on our card. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take, what's on the back side at? Yes. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to make those little triangles there. Now, since this is 1.5 inches and this is 3.5, we're going to go ahead and make this. Remember, the height was 1.5 inches to that score line, so I'm going to do 1/8 less than that. So I'm going to do 1/8 less than that. And since it was 3.5, the width of each panel, I'm going to go 1/8 less than that. Now, if you have directional, and then we're going to cut this in half. Now if you have directional, of course, it may not, you may have to do 2 or 3 little pieces, but look how small these pieces are. It's not a bad thing. All right, so let's go ahead here. I'm going to start cutting in the middle because of those points. So then you can see here is a piece and here is a piece. And now we're going to do the same here. So this is already that 1/8 less than 1.5. I'm going to do 1/8 less than 3.5. Now, yes, should I have seen if I have to score or whatever? No, I didn't think about that. But I am going to look now and see that I need this to be tall. So I'm going to put that edge up there. Oh, I must have been off a little on my corners. Close enough. All right. And if you want, let's just go ahead and trim that off a little. I might have not gone the full distance on that. So there's that one. Oh, am I way off? Sorry, guys. So there's that one. There's that one. They're a little off, but I'm not mad with it. It's fine. Probably should have gone to the inside edge. That's what I think I was doing yesterday. But let's just go ahead and do that. And we're going to go ahead and tape those down, but we're not going to tape them down quite yet. No, we will. Let's go ahead and tape them down. I just don't want them flying all over the place. And I'm going to show you in this next step, if you really want it to be precise, I'll show you how you're going to do it. Let me find my silicone sheet. Because you want to get all the way in to that point. Yeah, I must have really done the angle. Oh, you can tell. You can tell how that, oops, sorry if my hair's in there. You can tell I got that angle really off there. Must not have lined the corner to the corner. All right, go ahead, leave a little bit. Yeah, I definitely did that angle wrong. Maybe I should have done the full 1.5 by 3.5 and then trim down afterwards. Keep that in mind for when you do this. Because what's going to happen here is now we're going to decide what other one we want to do on our panels. So I think I'm going to do, let me see if I have 2 of those. I may not have 2 of those. Let me get one that's a little bit longer. Let's see. Ooh, feels like there was, oh, I kind of like that, but I think I like this better. And it looks like I can get 2 panels out of that one. So we'll go ahead and do that. Look at that, using scraps already. All right, so first true measure. What is the width of this? Oh, good, it is 3.5, which is our card panel. So this one we definitely want to do down a little bit. So let's go ahead and go at that 3, that 1/8 below 3.5. And then this is, remember, 5 1/4. So we're going to do an 1/8 down from that 5 1/4. We're going to do that twice. 8 down from 5 1/4. All right, now what you're going to notice, get out my snips because I'm going to need my snips. We're going to put these here. But if you notice, when we fold it in, we're going to have some left over. So we're just going to kind of snip that off at that point. All right. So, or you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's go like this. Get kind of the layering we want there. and we'll draw on the back. That way we know it's exact. And then we're going to come over here to the cutter. We're going to go just inside that, just a tiny bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm lining this up to that inside track, just where the ruler starts. So it's just like a very, very small layer. Let's see if we did that right. Look at how pretty that is. All right, let's go ahead and put that one down. Beautiful. And now let's do the same over here. So on this one, we're going to have to bend it the other way, because we want to be able to leave our little bit of an edge there. And do it that way so we can draw our line here. Hopefully I didn't move that. Don't know. We'll see. And here's where, all right, so again, I'm just doing it to where the gray of the cutter meets my ruler. And that gets you just like the very tiniest little edge. Put it over here. Look how pretty. And yes, there's not a, on this one, the way I did it, there's not a little point. I don't care about that. Now, if you did that as your first step, you would see that you would have this, if you like the pattern on either side, that could be one of your triangles. Of course, you have to cut that off and it'd be a little bit smaller. Let me show you, just because I sometimes talk in Roxi language. So I have that line right in the channel. So now you don't see the pen mark. All right, you do, but you don't. And then see, that could be a layer for that. So you could do it whichever way you want, but then you're stuck with the pattern on the other side of this, and you may or may not like that. Just food for thought. Okay, for this centerpiece, I'm going to take one of my little layers here. No, I don't like that. Let me go up to my settles. That's a little, We're going to get into this whole dilemma again. I don't like that. You know what? Let me see if I have Blushing Bride. That's Petal Pink. Let me see. I think Blushing Bride. Yes, I'm going to use Blushing Bride. All right, let me put that back up there. So now on this, of course, you want to get it to your 3 1/8 less than a 3 1/2, and then 1/8 less than a 5 1/4. So now you see it like this. This is where I just kind of eyeball it. So what I'll do is I'll come up here and I'll put a little tick mark. Oh, sorry if my hair got in there. Where, oh, and this is why people use pencils. So I put a tick mark there and a tick mark there, because that's kind of where that is. I'm going to do a different angle than that. And then, you know what, turn it over. I'm going to go on the score lines. That's smarter. So here's the score line here. And that score line's going to be right up there, of course. And then we have the score line here. Let's see. This is the first time I did it. Last time I actually did do the tick marks and all that. So we'll see how this works out. So we're going to go a little inside the score mark and a little inside. So again, I've lined it up to that gray channel. I have a feeling, ooh, my blade came out. I have a feeling that's not going to work. It did. Look at that. Pretty good. If you want to stamp on this, let's stamp on it first. I don't have a stamp with me right now, so let's just go ahead. I'll stamp it later, or I'll layer another on the inside. All right, so now let's get it back into formation. Look at that. And then if you wanted to, remember I said we can use this, we're going to use this first for a band. So let's cut that one off first. And I like making my band about 3/4 of an inch. And you know why? Because this other piece now is a good layer. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I don't measure and score on these. I actually have the card as it's going to be. I will go almost to the edge there. And I will fold on that side. But now I want a little bit of a leeway. So then I'm going to move that fold off the card just a touch. See, I'm just barely a touch. And then I'm going to come around like this. We're going to snip off what we don't like seeing. I'm going to put, I think I marked it right. Yes. All right, so there's that. Where did my little, this, we're going to make a little bit, I'm going to make this like 3 1/4. Put that there. So there's your band. See how it's going through all parts of the card? And then I'm going to layer this on I think I'm going to, because I'm going to stick with using my retiring in colors. Let's get Bumblebee. Let's get, oh my gosh, look at all these scraps. And you guys wonder why I have so many scraps. This is why. All right, so Bumblebee, normal card, panel base is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. If you want to stamp on this now, you can. Now what I do is I get this straight the way I want it. And then I go ahead and do stamp and seal along that whole thing. Center it, push it down. Now you have your base and you have your card. I must have a little piece of tape. Oh, there is a little bit of adhesive right there. Did you hear it? It was kind of making a noise when I opened it up. All right, so again, thank you to Gayleen for posting it on the first place on this site. And once you get a couple of them, I'm sorry, I'm trying to move everything off to the side here. Once you get a few of them down, then they're pretty simple to make. It's just, like I said, learning. And I think from now on, when I cut this off, I will use those opposite sides for the triangles, or at least you can use that as a template for your triangle. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Have a great Sunday. Hope your weekend was good and be safe.